Hey guys, welcome back to the Building Performance Workshop. We are in the workshop right now. You can see that I've got all my insulation for the house that's up the hill. I'm going to talk about the house in just a second, but I wanted to kind of show you around my warehouse of materials. I got a shipment of our windows last week. These are from a company called Alpen Windows. They are very serious windows. I was going to be getting my windows from Europe, but I felt compelled to try as hard as possible to get our windows from the States so that we'd be telling people it's easy to get this stuff. And that is so, so important. If we were just shipping stuff from across the world all the time, only a certain kind of person is willing to do that, can afford to do that, etc. So these are Alpen windows. They're pretty cool. When they show up, they have a bladder installed in it, and it looks like this. You can think of this as basically a pressure balancing umbilical cord. And so what you have to do is break into the windows. When I say break in, I mean unwrap the plastic. And if you're not planning on installing it right away, that is kind of breaking in, because now I've unwrapped them and they're just maybe, you know, a bird comes into this workshop, which obviously is an open air workshop, and it might perch on it and poop on my windows, which I'm not okay with. So I'm trying not to disturb them as much as possible, but you basically get in there. You have to crimp this little tiny metal capillary tube, basically. It's a tube. It's not just a wire. You have to crimp it in 3 different places and then cut it. And then you're going to tuck that tube back into the window, the glass edge, basically. The reason for that is that these things are manufactured in Colorado, outside Denver, which is a mile high. Totally different pressure, totally different temperatures, potentially, than elsewhere in the country. So when it arrives on site, the idea is you let the windows acclimate so that the vacuum inside the window isn't out of tune with the climate that you've installed it in. And I think that that's a super cool feature. So you can see I've got some 8-foot tall French doors back there, which I'm very excited about. Now, as far as those windows install, what you want to do is put them inside the exterior insulation layer. Outside the house, there's going to be 2 inches of insulation. The idea there is to install the windows in the exterior insulation layer so that there's not an easy way for heat to just sneak around them. This is thermal buck. I'm not going to crack this open right now. I just wanted to show you these nice, pretty boxes. But thermal buck is it's called a buck. I'm a beginner at all this stuff, so I'm actually kind of unclear still on what exactly this is going to look like when I've put it in. But it's essentially a jam fitting for when you are using exterior insulation. So we'll see that, and these are actually made out of insulation so that they keep, for those of you who are super nerds, the thermal bridging becomes very minimal. So that's nice, and we've got enough to handle all of those windows and doors. This is tape, lots and lots of tape from 475. You can see here we've got my black, which is Solitex Mento 3000. That's what's going to go on the roof. That's my roof membrane for airtightness and weather barrier. The white stuff is Intello, which you've seen installed inside my dry vault, inside my tiny lab. I love this stuff. So I have an exterior weather barrier that is the Georgia Pacific Force Field. You can see installed on some of the building up there. By the way, you can see that we've got a roof joist. One roof beam installed up there. That's the center ridge beam that runs all the way down the building. We're going to keep on hitting that very soon. But in the meantime, taking delivery on stuff that I want to have ready so that the trigger is ready to pull when we get to that point. All this stuff happens in a pretty weird schedule, as I understand it, as opposed to a conventional build. So please do stay tuned for the videos on all that stuff, because I'll try my best to explain how everything works, especially since I myself am a beginner and I have lots and lots of questions about this. Stay tuned for the build. Stay tuned for home diagnosis. We're shooting season 2. We shot 2 days yesterday. We'll shoot another day tomorrow. So all that stuff is moving forward. Stay tuned to the Building Performance podcast. I just accidentally published 45 past episodes on this channel. So you can see all those really easily. You can also subscribe to that on any podcast platform. Thanks very much. Comment, like, subscribe. Tune in next time.